So hello, welcome back. Today we're going to do something different. Different I mean it's the first time we are really going from a location to another location instead of a loop. And I've decided to first go with a video where I do a full voiceover. And we are moving from Central Station Utrecht to the new part which is called Leidserijn Centrum, which is the second big population of people in the city, second city center in a way. So we start off with one of the most interesting bicycle objects, I guess, very famous. It's a underground bicycle parking area for 12,500 bicycles. So we're going in like this, side one. So if you rent a bike, you might be at this side of the station or the other side. And as you can see, if you go through you can ride through the bicycle parking. The image is a bit shaky here, but that's okay. It will be better when we get out of it. And at the other side you might also start, so that's why I recorded the ride through it, which is also fun to see, of course. So this is the one that you mostly see in the videos, the entrance. Let me know in the comments if you like this full voiceover or not. So here we go to the left. They're still rebuilding this part, still a bit messy compared to lots of other infrastructure. And this area has been rebuilt at least 10 times in the last 30 years. So you can still see that this is a bit clumsy and temporary until they totally fix it up. Lots of new buildings are being put into this area. You have to be a little bit careful and also bike a little bit slower than normal. A little bit more matching the other people in their speed. Not this tricycle, but here we go to the right. And basically what they have done, there are different ways to bike, but they kind of made a special bicycle road from one city center to the other. And we are going to follow that. It's not my preferred road, but yeah. So normally what I would do is take the road before it, I will point it out. There's a lot less speed bumps. And it also goes past my late parents' home. There's always something happening, so here I have to hold in a little bit so that the other one passes. You saw that he also gave me a signal, right? So normally I would take this road to the left, but we are not doing that today. We are going to onto the official, I think it's official, bicycle path that they created for this the main old city center to the new city center. I guess I could also cut out the red lights, but I think it's good to see that if you have to stop, you still have to wait. And this is quite a big road, so you have to wait quite a long time. Not sure why this road is not really a cycle path. It's more like a woonerf thingy with speed bumps. Not too comfortable, which kind of surprised me, but I think this is the official way to get to the other road. Although official is kind of an anti-Dutch thing. Bicycles just go whatever they feel makes sense. So this is the bike path I was talking about, and of course we're going from a central station to Leidserijn Centrum, which is also a train station. So we are basically going to follow the train path, and you can already see that there's quite a nice sound barrier, but you can see the railroad is next to it. And this is why I don't like this path, because there's speed bumps all over the place. And I'm going about 22 kilometers an hour. Normally I will go 25-ish. When I was a kid, this would be one of the areas I would hang out. Further along, there are different buildings where you could hang out as a kid. Which kind of also explains the Dutch kids have a lot of freedom, because basically the whole part we are cycling was totally free for me as a kid to roam around in when I was, I have to guess a little bit, 8, 9. It was quite a big area. So in the front of us you already see a little bit the smokestack, or not really sure if it's smoke, of the coffee factory, Douwe Egberts. So that building on your left was one of my schools, where I learned to be a car mechanic. The school is now gone. You see quite a lot of cars here, but they're mostly for local homes on your left, and you hardly see any cars here. We will run up to one delivery car, but you can see why, especially if it's busy. And now it's not busy because I went in the daytime and not really a school sort of period. So not many bikes, but normally this is quite full. And you can also see that the bollards over there, so normally cars can't get in, only from the other side. And there you see the livery guy. And you already notice that everybody sort of knows that bicycles might be coming, and are used to keep an eye out for them. So we slowly are reaching the end of the old area, which normally will be the old part of the end of the city, and up to the yellow bridge, which at least in my memory we also called the coffee bridge, which makes sense because the coffee factory is there, and you can smell the coffee if the wind is really well aimed. Not as much as in the old days, because then the smokestacks were lower, and they moved them up quite a lot. But it still at times happens that you can smell the coffee. And again, this is quite a busy road. I think they're going to redo it in the future. Remove lanes and probably add some greenery, more greenery, and move the cycle paths. Cycle paths are fine, but they're probably going to shift them over a bit. Sometimes we'll also put some personal notes in there. The building on your left is where my grandma used to live. And how things have changed is that in this spot there used to be a fuel, how do you call it, a Shell station, said that you would get ice creams and candy. Now up to the yellow bridge, which like I said we also call the coffee bridge. going over the Amsterdam Rijnkanaal. Actually, two of the bridges are new. The yellow bridge is new, and the grey one next to it is new. So you can now see the train using the old one, which was already there, at least in my memory, so it should be before 1970. But the other two they put in, and I actually have pictures which I will put on Commute that you can see both of the bridges being placed. At night the barrier has lights in it, so it's very well lit at the night time. And they're almost done building this part of the city. So on our left they are going to put a few more buildings there and finish up the central station, or the central area of this. Now if you see that reddish building, that's actually the movie theater, and after that there's actually a road below the ground, one of the main roads, the A2, a 6-lane highway is below the ground. We are going to pass over it. You don't know because, well, it's below ground. And also in this area, no trucks are allowed to enter the central area. So supplies are being done by a tunnel. So the tunnel is dug from the highway, kind of, and it goes into the area so that they can supply all the shops from the inside. So the shops we are going to visit soon, you will see there won't be any supply trucks normally there. So this is where the road is, below ground. And to your right you see the bus station, which is also at night quite nicely lit up. But if you didn't know it, you would never notice that we are going to ride over a major highway. Right about now. Sorry. So now we are going to the right. Do it a little bit clumsy. And I'm not sure if this is the official path, but it's been like this for years. I'm not sure why they don't make it red, but this is the way to get to Leidserijn train station again. I do a little bit of a loop-the-loop to show you the inside and where you can put your bicycles if you have rented one from the OV Fiets, or get one, I guess. Could also go out the other side, which pretty close has a big buildings. And just to make it complete, so I would normally stop here, but I also drive a little bit into the main central square. So there's about 100 to 150,000 people which are going to live or are already living in this area, and that's why they call it the second central area of Utrecht. It was the biggest building location in the Netherlands for years. Might still be. Of course, you're not supposed to bicycle here, but we will do it anyway, like any sane Dutch person. And going to the right again. Of course, still kind of wintry. You can see this built 2017, so it's quite new. But they're already making some changes, and I'm pretty sure by summer they've niced it up again. It's still quite early and quite coldish. And it's kind of funny because I'm not sure if you go to the left here, if it's actually a bicycle path. There are lines there, so I'm assuming, and always people are bicycling here, but it's not really a bicycle path, sort of figure it out yourself path. I will stop the video in probably about a minute. I just also recorded this part so you can see also water on this side. Well, you can't see it, but there's water on that side. But you can see that these are quite big building blocks, and it makes me think, especially in summer, they're all slightly different, and they look almost like the Spanish sort of area blocks, if that makes sense, that you have in cities like Barcelona, for example. In the summer, it kind of looks anti-Dutch in a way, at least in my mind. As you can see, quite sadly, it's still quite dark and cloudy. And you can also see that they are still building part of the shopping mall, or city center. I wouldn't call it a shopping mall, but city center, which has a lot of people living there. And in the lower part, of course, are then the shops. So that's why calling it a shopping center is kind of weird. And we'll end up where I start most of my loops. I figured it was smart to stop it there. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. The bus lane also goes from one side to the other side to the central station, so it's kind of following the same route. Bye bye again.